What's up everyone, this is FP6 bringing you some Go Battle League battles here in the Ultra League, and in today's video I'm running this team that I had a really nice win streak in Ultra League, running Giratina Origin in the lead with Shadow Ball and Dragon Pulse. Having Dragon Pulse is kind of nice for coverage, so you're not walled by the normal types or the dark types. You're able to hit back with some neutral damage. And then I'm running Wall Rain and Charm Alolan Ninetales in the back, so this definitely is kind of an example of an ABB team where your two back Pokemon are both ice types, gonna have some weakness to Talonflame and like Registeel as well. So most of the time in these battles you will see me swapping my Wall Rain on the safe swap, because at least you have Earthquake to hit for super effective damage against some of those steel types, but had a lot of really exciting games and tough matchups with this team. So let's jump right into the battles here and see what's going on. These definitely were still in some of the early ranks, but I was surprised at how difficult some of these matchups were. So Wall Rain in the lead, not good at all. I'm going to mirror with my own Wall Rain, and I'm immediately met with an Obstagoon. This is not looking good at all. They do go for the Cross Chop, which will hit for super effective damage. They sneak a counter through while I'm throwing my Icicle Spear here, but gonna be able to get some chip damage, and I even got a shield. We get some mutual stutter lag there, and then they sneak another counter, but I'm going to throw one more Icicle Spear, and thank goodness they actually dumped their energy here, because they very easily could have just tanked the next Icicle Spear, farmed all the way down, and then had energy for whatever was going to come in. But I have to bring in my Charm Alolan Ninetales here, and they end up switching out. They have their own Charmer in the back. This is absolutely terrible for me. My Giratina essentially has nowhere to go because they still have a very healthy Wall Rain, and now they have this Sylveon. I will be able to throw this Weather Ball to get some nice chip damage on the Sylveon, and then I have to Shadow Claw down, but I'm going to eat a lot of charm damage here. Have to shield up everything pretty much at this point. They still have the Obstagoon alive, and they have the Wall Rain. So this is not looking great, but they bring in the Obstagoon. They're able to get to a Night Slash here, and I unfortunately have to shield it. I need to get to 2 Shadow Balls against this Wall Rain. No Powder Snow goes through, and that's pretty huge here because it is going to allow me to get to 1 more Shadow Ball. I believe this was a CMP tie right here. The Shadow Ball will not KO, puts them very low. This Icicle Spear definitely will KO. They cannot really undercharge because then I could Shadow Claw them down, and 1 Charm goes through, and we're able to come back from that very difficult game. Good game. Another Wall Rain in the lead. Wall Rain is definitely a very common Pokemon in Ultra League and in Great League. It's just so powerful with that Powder Snow and Icicle Spear spam. Going to swap in my own Wall Rain and tank that move, and then they bring in Poliwrath. This is a pretty solid response to my Wall Rain, and because they chipped me with an Earthquake before leaving, I am now pretty much in Dynamic Punch range. I'm really hoping that they do not have Ice Punch, because if that is the case, my Giratina is totally going to wall this Poliwrath, and I have to commit to the full farm down here. So I will no shield whatever this is. It ends up being Scald, so they reveal the full moveset at that point. I am going to fully commit to the farm, and so when the Wall Rain comes back in, I'm hoping to be able to land 2 Shadow Balls on it. They bring in, most likely going to bring in that Wall Rain once again. They actually end up bringing in the Registeel, and thank goodness they reveal Registeel at this point. I need to keep everything aligned where it currently is at. I'm not quite sure what my opponent thinks I have in the back, but thank goodness they're just letting this Registeel go. Now, I do not want to get down to 1 Pokemon remaining, because then the Zap Cannon is going to debuff my final Mon, and I won't be able to clear that debuff. So they end up shielding, and then they bring out the Wall Rain. I figured they were going to make a swap at that point. But this is a fairly okay matchup for the Alolan Ninetales if you can successfully shield up an Earthquake, which I'm able to do. These Charms are chunking. I'm just going to throw this Weather Ball to burn their last shield. And I sneak a charm there, which is very fortunate for me. Anytime you can sneak a fast move that does that significant amount of damage, it's pretty positive. Just going to throw the weather ball immediately. I just need as much damage on this Walrein as possible. Charm it down, and Registeel cannot store back-to-back moves, so I'm going to force them to throw, and then hopefully one Shadow Claw should do the trick on this Registeel. Actually ended up taking 2 Shadow Claws, but we're able once again to come back from that really tough team comp. Oh my goodness, a Scizor. This is definitely a core breaker for my team. This thing has access to Bullet Punch as the fast move, and then Night Slash, which will hit for super effective damage. And the Steel type moves are going to be hitting for double super effective on my Alolan Ninetales. It'll be hitting for neutral on my Walrein, but they let it go. Maybe they thought that I was going to bait them with Ominous Wind, but very fortunate for me. Out comes Venusaur, which again has play against my back line. So I'm just thinking, what in the world is this team comp? Gonna throw the Shadow Ball here, and I do get a shield back. Really hoping that I can get to this next Shadow Ball, and I am able to get there. It's going to be very difficult for the Venusaur to Vine Whip me down, so I'm just going to stay in and do as much damage as possible. They farm up a lot of energy. Nice play. Walrein will take super effective damage from the Frenzy Plant, but the Charms will be resisted from my Alolan Ninetales, and I won't be able to get to a charge move very quickly. So I go into the Walrein. In the back is a Swampert. If they have Sludge Wave, this is kind of rough. But most likely they go for the big move of Earthquake. I need to get any chip damage off on this Swampert that I can, so I'm going to throw this Weather Ball. And then hopefully be able to set myself up for a farm down with my Walrein, because if the Venusaur came in here and farmed up, they would have been able to land a Frenzy Plant on my Walrein. So let the A9 go down, and now I have energy stored on my Walrein to be able to hit this Venusaur for super effective, and we're able to take that game. Good game. Tough team comp yet again. Okay, a Trevenant in the lead. I saw a handful of these, and because I'm not running Ominous Wind, I definitely get outpaced if they successfully bait. You can see that Trevenant wins the CMP tie here against Giratina, so I will shield it, and I get baited. Really unfortunate for me. Going for the Shadow Ball, and they thought that I was baiting, but I don't even have Ominous Wind. They end up bringing in a Dragon Breath Charizard here, and this is kind of a mistake. I should have went into Walrein immediately, but I ended up staying in, throwing the Shadow Ball, getting a shield, and now most likely they're going to go for the Blast Burn, so I will end up shielding this up. But because it is a Dragon Breath Charizard, my Alolan Ninetales has a little bit more play. I just need to be wary of the Blast Burn, which will do a lot of damage. They end up bringing in their own Walrein here. And so 2 Earthquakes will not KO their Walrein, but it will knock out mine because of the Dragon Breath damage that my Walrein sustained. Gonna go for the Earthquake here, and then immediately swap into my Alolan Ninetales, hoping that this is only an Icicle Spear. No, they ended up getting to another Earthquake. Really nice play. Out comes the Charizard once again, and I just need to get this thing low enough or drain its energy to where my Walrein can get to an Icicle Spear in the late game. So they're in a very tough spot because they have to build up enough energy to Blast Burn and Dragon Claw. And because of the residual energy that I had, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I don't know why I didn't just throw the... Why did I not just throw the Icicle Spear? Made that game way closer than it needed to be, but we're still able to take that game there. I swap immediately into my Walrein here because I just want to mix it up and see what they have. The Swampert matchup is actually kind of uncomfortable. If you're the Giratina, the Swampert is able to get to those Earthquakes. And I had a feeling that I would survive this cross chop. I barely survive. You can see my IVs on the screen there. My Walrein is pretty optimized for PvP. I'm able to burn a shield from the Machamp, which is really good for me. Now, if they have payback, this is very unfortunate. So I end up no shielding this. It's just a Rock Slide, able to farm all the way down, and we're looking pretty okay. They bring in Alolan Muck. It is a Snarl Alolan Muck, so it's hitting for super effective damage. They're able to generate energy fairly quickly. I get a nice big chunk of damage with that Dragon Pulse there. And they totally sacked their Alolan Muck. Okay, so at this point, I'm pretty much thinking that double shielded Alolan Ninetales is going to be my win con here, and just going to be able to charm everything down. I can't believe they didn't throw a move with their Alolan Muck. Definitely put me in a favorable position there, and Dragon Pulse really came in clutch in this particular matchup. They go for their only win con of hoping that I call a bait or something, but we shielded up and take that game. Another Swampert in the lead. And I'm going to play this the same way. I go into my Walrein, and then out comes a Charizard. Totally fine by me. This person is throwing immediately at Dragon Claw energy, so I know that they don't even have energy for Blast Burn. No need to shield that. I throw one Powder Snow before throwing this Icicle Spear for optimal move timing. And then I force the CMP here, feeling like they were going to throw Dragon Claw, and they do. Totally fine by me. Walrein is looking pretty good in this matchup if the Charizard does not even attempt to go for Blast Burn. So I'm at back-to-back Icicle Spears here. If they shield, I'm just going to hard punish with another Icicle Spear, but they let it go. I'm up a shield, and I have switch advantage, and out comes a Machamp. Things are looking very, very good for me. We're able to get some chip damage off on the Machamp. I immediately go back into the Giratina, because at this point, I am most likely just going to potentially save both shields for my Alolan Ninetales once again. Going to no shield, and they're actually running Muddy Water. So this opponent, unfortunately, is not running the correct moveset on their Swampert. You definitely want Hydro Cannon as like a staple move, and then you can either have Earthquake or Sludge Wave depending on what coverage you have. They actually ended up having Earthquake. So they don't have the Community Day move, but props to them for landing the Earthquake. I definitely thought that they were just going to go for Muddy Water again, but at this point, the Alolan Ninetales is just going to be able to charm through everything. Ended up saving both shields for the Charmer in the back, and it paid off in this game. We're able to take that. Good game. So still on a pretty nice win streak here. We have yet to lose with this team. We do get some losses towards the end of this video where my streak eventually dies, but Melmetal in the lead. Totally fine by me. The Rock Slide will hit for neutral damage here, but the Thunder Shock is resisted, and they end up catching a Shadow Ball on their Scrafty. Wow, really nice play. Now I'm going to farm up some energy before getting out of here, because Alolan Ninetales is a very hard counter to Scrafty, and I know that I'm going to be hard punished by that Melmetal anyways. But it's unlikely that they're going to be able to hard farm me with something that comes in. So I'm able to charm them all the way down. Out comes the Melmetal once again, and I'm just trying to do as much chip damage on this Melmetal as possible. Again, it's going to be nearly impossible for them to Thunder Shock me down, so they will have to expend energy in this matchup. We're looking all right. And the charms are chunking this Melmetal. They have to throw energy once again. We have energy stored on our Giratina. And I really want to be able to farm this down and then unload this energy on whatever they have in the back. So I will shield once. In the back is a Clefable. Holy cow. So I need to get to 2 Shadow Balls here, and then swap to my Walrein so I don't eat any more charm damage on my Giratina. They still have the Melmetal I need to worry about. So I'm going to throw this Icicle Spear before they potentially get to a Moonblast and drop my attack. I just need as much damage as possible. They're going to throw their energy here, and they go for the Meteor Mash. So farming as much as I can, and they catch the Earthquake on the Melmetal. Nice play. But we're still in a pretty good spot here. Just going to go for the Icicle Spear. And they're actually able to get to another move. This opponent played incredibly well. They caught moves on everything. They optimized their energy, and we're just barely able to take that game. Really well played to my opponent. Okay, Regirock. So I'm just going straight for the Shadow Ball, but we very cleanly get outpaced here to these Stone Edges. But it will take 2 Stone Edges plus all the lock-on damage to knock out my Giratina. The lock-ons are pretty much doing nothing. And in the 2 shield scenario, I'm thinking that my Shadow Claw damage will put this Regirock low enough to where I can just KO it with 1 Shadow Ball. So So gonna throw another Shadow Ball here, and I want to see where they want to spend their shields. They end up double shielding right off the bat, so I'm very curious as to what they have in the back. Maybe a fighter. I really don't want my wall rain lined up against that. I can't really overfarm too much in this matchup because the Regirock gets to these stone edges so quickly. They end up switching in their Talonflame. And so I'm going to throw this Shadow Ball to do a lot of damage. And I'm just going to force them to expend their energy here. They go for Flame Charge. That's okay. Bring out my Wall Rain here, and they will be able to get some energy off on me. Boosted Flame Charge really doesn't do that much damage. They should have committed to the Brave Bird there, but now they gave me an opportunity to farm them down. I knew that Regirock was very close to a move, so I will throw this Icicle Spear immediately. In the back is Trevenant. We're looking pretty good here. I am worried about the Seed Bomb though, so I most likely will make a catch on my A9, but they ended up not throwing. Smart move. But they're going to need a lot of damage to take out my A9, and the charms are going to be able to finish them off there. Good game. Giratina into Lapras. Okay, tough lead because this is an Ice Shard Lapras. I checked what the fast move was before I swapped out of there, and I met with an Obstagoon. Whenever people have an Ice type in the lead, I always would assume that they wouldn't have something in the back that is weak to counter because their team is just double weak to fighting types immediately, but nevertheless, we are punished with an Obstagoon here. They do shield up the first move, maybe assuming that I was going to go for the Earthquake, but we're looking all right. I shield up that Cross Chop so I can get more of this energy off onto the Obstagoon. And at this point, I'm going to go for the Earthquake. I'm thinking that they're not going to commit both their shields here. They let it go, and I'm able to regain switch advantage, which is good for me. The terrible part is that this Lapras is going to get a huge farm off of my Wall Rain here. I'm going to be able to get a parting Earthquake, but this is not looking good at all. I bring out my Alola Ninetales. I don't sneak a Charm upon entry. That's really unfortunate, because these certs are definitely going to add up. And in the back is a Swampert. Not great. They're able to get to what most likely is an Earthquake here. And at this point, they're recognizing that they can just probably save their shield for Lapras, and that is the win. Oh, they end up shielding Swampert here because it's still very healthy. And now I'm in Hydro Cannon range. So this is a smart play by the opponent as well. Not looking good. I need to get to this Shadow Ball. Really can't overfarm that much, but now I know I'm going to get Ice Sharded down, and my switch clock is not up. I cannot get out of this matchup. I get farmed by the Lapras. I need to get to a Psyshock, but I have like hardly any energy on my Alola Ninetales, and this Lapras is still pretty much heavily loaded at 100 energy, and it is just not going to happen here, folks. They're very close to another Surf, and they are there. Very well played to my opponent. I lost my win streak, unfortunately. But very well played to my opponent. And I believe we have 1 or 2 more games in this video here. Another Trevenant in the lead. So again, if they bait me here, then they're looking pretty good. I did not force the CMP tie this time around because I was trying to sneak an extra Shadow Claw. It did not work out. Out comes a Wall Rain. I really want to guarantee that I can keep my Wall Rain aligned with their Trevenant, so I do end up catching an Icicle Spear on my A9, which is very good for me. I want to be able to charm this all the way down, and then if they bring out Trevenant, I will have energy loaded so I can throw some Weather Balls at the Trevenant. They go for double Icicle Spear here, which was very surprising to me, potentially trying to bait a shield on the first one, but there was no way that I was going to shield that Earthquake. So I will throw this Weather Ball here, and I get a shield back. Now this Trevenant is still kind of at an awkward health range. Definitely can't really... I end up going into my Giratina here. Okay, kind of questionable play, and it's because they revealed Wall Rain. So I'm thinking that my Giratina just might not have a lot of play against their team. But in hindsight, this was a huge mistake, right? If I would have just saved my Giratina for this Machamp, we would have been looking all right. But now there's just no way. I have to get to an Earthquake to knock out this Machamp. and Machamp is going to win CMP. They already have a huge energy advantage, and things are looking really rough because they're going to be able to get to a cross chop, another cross chop before I can get to this Earthquake. I was keeping track of their energy, and I knew that they were one counter away, so I was just hoping by some miracle Icicle Spear would be enough, but it was not. Well played to my opponent, and definitely a mistake on my part in hindsight. Should have brought out the Wall Rain there on the Trevenant. Final battle of the video here, folks. If you like the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The school year is almost over, and so I will have some more free time to get back into content creation over the summer. Kind of looking forward to that. I have my Wall Rain on this Grand Bull here, so we're looking pretty good. In general, Wall Rain does pretty good against the Charmers because it's very bulky and you're able to get to these pretty energy efficient charge moves rather quickly. My defense did fall from the crunch though, which is not ideal. So I do land an Icicle Spear there. And we still have a shield remaining. I know that this Grand Bull is not going to be able to get to a move, so I'm going to value the energy on my Giratina. And out comes a Melmetal. This is totally fine by me. Gonna get hit by a Rock Slide here, but that's fine. The Shadow Ball will do a lot of damage. And thank goodness my A9 gets to avoid this thing. Now I'm able to get to this Shadow Ball before they throw another Rock Slide, so really good for me. What is in the back? It is that Gallade that we saw in the lead, and so we're looking very good here. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I'll catch you all in the next video.